Yeah, if you have your cell phones on, turn them down if you're looking to share. Okay, you all, we honestly were just talking so much that we passed the little minute that we were supposed to press live. So, hello, everybody. How are you? This is about to be a trip. So, please share. Welcome to Real Women Rock Live Chat and come on in the room and please share this out with someone. We are about to have a blast. Right now, it is public on my personal page, on our Real Women page. She'll be back. Her device is not connected. She'll be back. And on our Real Women Rock YouTube page. So please share this with someone and let them know that we are on, because we are about to talk all things HBCUs, all things Delta Sigma Theta, all things sisterhood. And we're going to have some fun doing it. I hope this girl pops back on. Let's see. She'll be back. I'll start my generals, and as we are sharing and popping on, we'll come back to introducing ourselves. My name is Trenace Richardson, and I am the founder of Real Women Rock, because we do. We create safe spaces for women to do personal development work on themselves. And we do that through sister circles. We host sister circles pre-COVID on a monthly basis in person in the DC, Maryland, Northern Virginia, and Hampton Roads, Virginia area. But we also travel with Real Women on the road. And so we've had the opportunity to be in several states and even abroad. And it's our endeavor to make sure that every woman has access to a circle of sisters, no matter where she lives in the world. And we have gone virtual. So we give you this Thursday night is Thursday night. We give you this Thursday night sneak peek into our real conversations with real women, and then invite you to our monthly virtual sister circles. And we ask that you join us in these sister circles, because every woman needs a safe space to just share and be. And we don't care what your titles are. We don't care, what your roles are. We really just want to come as women and share about topics that are relevant and important to other women. So we've had our February one. Our next one is coming up March 14th. And we're going to be talking about all different types of relationships. So whether you are single, married, divorced, or it's complicated, if it's a situationship, wherever you're in right now, we're going to talk about relationships from the perspective of a woman. So would love for you to join us March 14th, and you'll see more information about that popping up. But right now, I have the pleasure. Usually there are two screens here, and I get to share and converse with another sister who all of our sisters who are here on a weekly basis are amazing. But we've got the 4-screen share right now because in my undergraduate experience, I had, after my freshman year, and my sophomore year. Yeah, because my sophomore year I was in Mitchell. So after my freshman and my sophomore year, I spent 2 years in a suite in the back. And we'll name it and claim it and all that stuff in just a few minutes. But I did it with these ladies. I pledged with these ladies. And so we have done a whole lot of life together from young adulthood into adulthood. And it is my pleasure to share my suite mates with you. And so I'm just going to ask who wants to go first to introduce yourselves. So we'll just go around. Tell us a bit about yourselves. Who's going first?
Who's going first?
You. You jumped out there. Jump in.
But I was about to push you out there, Station, and be like, go ahead, girl, be great. Oh. What you want to know? So I'm Sanithia. For those who don't know me, I'm Sanithia Newby, and of course I went to Elizabeth City State University. I am a native of Virginia, much like Nikki is as well. I have probably built my career around human services, crisis intervention, local government. Now I'm an entrepreneur. Yada 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 yada. That enough?
if that's what you want to do, that's fine. We're going to talk about you more anyway. So that's up to you.
I do want to say that you did make an upgrade from Mitchell Lewis your sophomore year, because I met you my freshman year, because me, you, and Isoke and Vaughn lived together.
We sure did. Absolutely.
In the complex, because I came from Bias and you came from Mitchell Lewis.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, we gonna y'all gonna help me remember a whole bunch of stuff. Isoke's up here too. Hey. So who's next?
I'll jump in.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Stacia, and if y'all can still see my name, Trinace used to call me Stacia, which is why she had to put that in there. I'm from South Carolina, so I always felt like the odd girl out, because everybody else was from at the time, was it the 16 surrounding counties? I think now it's 21. Mm-hmm. I didn't know anything about that. I was like, where y'all from? Bertie County? Like, what's the city? I did not understand all the counties in North Carolina.
Me neither.
I live in Atlanta now. I was a computer science major at Elizabeth City. I'm now chief information officer at the Lovett School. I do some coaching. I have a wonderful son who is a senior. I'm about to be an empty nester, y'all. And I'm just so glad to be here with y'all. This is going to be fun. So I'm going to leave it there for now, but we'll come back. Oh, but I did get another degree this month. So Black Girl Magic, happy Black History Month to me. Yes.
Hey. Another graduate degree. Yes. Hey. Yay. Denise.
As you guys can tell, I'm the quiet one. AKA the girl with the accent. That's what most people probably identify me with. But I got to enjoy 3 wonderful years with the Quad. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a North Carolinian. I've been here my whole life. I've been in Charlotte for 20 years. My career centers around education. I was a teacher, principal, assistant principal, and probably for the last 10 years served in district level roles. Currently, I serve as the Chief of District Support for the University of Virginia Partnership and Leaders for Education. I have 2 sons. One's a senior and one's a freshman. And I'll be kind of a halfway empty nester because my oldest will go on to college next year.
We getting old, Denise.
I know, right? Remember when we were making the journey? Remember when we were preparing to go to college?
Oh, the devil is a liar. We're getting better, y'all. Fine wine.
We are getting better. Absolutely. It's just, it comes with age too, but we getting better. So you can notice, y'all, I'm just going to put it out there. We're just going to get this over with because everybody has a slash and a name. Except Denise, and that's all I'm gonna say. That's all. There's a dot by Denise's name. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm not gonna get in trouble yet, but that's all I wanted to say.
Don't do it. She say she the quiet one, but we know better. I wouldn't do it.
I'm not gonna do it. Okay, so this is I really know this is gonna be a love fest, and I really would appreciate you all sharing in the chat your experiences from either if you went to an HBCU, if you are a member of a sorority or a fraternity, or even just the sisterhood and brotherhood that you found, whether it's high school or college. You don't have to have gone to college to be a part of this conversation because we are just literally old friends and we happen to know each other from undergrad, so we have a whole lot to talk about based on that. But please share as you hear us sharing. And so I'm just going to open it up. Wherever you all take it is fine with me. I'll just open it up with some questions to get going because we all chose, and I know all of us have gone to graduate school and beyond after that. And maybe some of those, I know for me, all of them weren't HBCUs, but my undergrad, I chose an HBCU. Hey, Vikings. Hey. And so I'm wondering why you chose an HBCU. What made your experience at an HBCU special? Y'all still smiling, thinking about it. What you think?
I'll start that one because my situation was totally unique. I would not say I chose an HBCU and HBCU chose me.
Oh, that's good.
So I had no aspiration about college. I grew up in a really small rural town, predominantly white, had good grades, was a good student, but no one ever pulled me to the side and had a conversation with me about college until one day in February of my senior year. I'm literally walking across my high school campus, and a recruiter from Elizabeth City was there. First name Anthony, last name, his last name is escaping me right now. And I always tell folks, like, he literally saved my life.
Wow.
That interaction saved my entire life.
Wow.
But he had a conversation with me about college, went and looked at my grades, met with my mom that night. And the next thing you know, I'm signed up at Elizabeth City State University. Like, it was the only college there was no other application. There was no aspiration. It chose me.
Brewer says it's Price, Anthony
Yes.
Price.
Yeah.
Look, I knew Ronell would know.
Was that Garrett said?
Huh?
I don't
Anyway,
know.
I thought it was
I don't
somebody,
know.
one of our classmates
But
said.
that saved my life.
Did all of us get recruited like that? Because that's how I got recruited.
No.
I got recruited in high school as well. I decided probably in my 10th grade year, after almost failing 9th grade because I was being fast and skipping school and just, doing what I wanted to do. But when I got my life right in 10th grade, and I started researching, I don't know, I was the first one in my family to go to college, so I didn't have a baseline to work off of. Nobody else, had been to college. And so it was new terrain for me. And back then you could go to the library and there was these really thick books. Y'all remember those college books that had all the universities in it and the criteria for how to get into them, the SAT scores you had to have, everything. And I would sit in the library by myself for hours just going through researching because I knew I wanted to be a lawyer. So I just looked for criminal justice programs. And interestingly enough, many of them turned out to be at HBCUs. And then that drove me to start researching. I was like, well, what's an HBCU? And when I realized the legacy, I was like, oh, it's going to be a whole bunch of other people there that look like me. I was like, yo, sign me up, But my first choice was North Carolina Central. And I actually got accepted to Central. But in terms of being able to pay the tuition, my parents just were not positioned to be able to do that. And literally, I'm walking in the lunchroom at my high school, and there was a recruiter from Elizabeth City. I'd never heard of Elizabeth City. I didn't know where it was. I was like, what? I was like, where is it even at? It was like on the other side of the Dismal Swamp. I was like, a swamp. I was like, I don't know about this. But it turned out to be one of the best decisions I've made in my life, is being picked up by Elizabeth City State University. And they paid for me to go to school. So
Bam.
Winning. I see that wasn't your experience.
Huh? No, but you know what? I mean, I feel like we've never talked about this before, because Denise, I would have never thought you were like college bound, like now Dr. Watts. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Newbie, anyway, all the doctors. Okay. So HBCUs run in our family's blood. My mom and 5 of her siblings went to South Carolina State. So I knew I wasn't going there because I didn't need anybody trying to tell me they know my mama and my aunts. Then I had aunts that went to Bethune-Cookman and Xavier. And then y'all, out of like my 22 first cousins, we represent, my brother went to Jackson State, Johnson C. Smith, FAMU, Morgan State, you name it, Hampton, a couple of them. So we kept that going for a while. So HBCUs definitely runs in our blood, but I had never heard of Elizabeth City State University. Had an ex-boyfriend from Florence, South Carolina, who played at Elizabeth City. His guidance counselor was like, or his basketball coach was the guidance counselor and was like, Miss McFadden, I know a school that'll give you a lot of money. So I applied. I also applied at A&T. They gave me like not enough. Clark Atlanta, they were on CP time with a lot of their communications. So my mom and dad were like, hey, we don't want you to be in debt after school. You better go check out this Elizabeth City. So y'all, I signed up to go to Elizabeth City without ever stepping foot on campus.
Wow.
You didn't come for the visit? You didn't do the tour or nothing?
Wow.
No, but check this out.
Wow.
Check this
you didn't
out.
either?
Ma'am, It was 7 hours across the entire state of North Carolina. No, I came on the first day. I came on the first day with my book bag to say where I'm supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
No planning and preparation. I showed up on the first day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, how about this, y'all? When we pulled up on campus, we pulled up behind another car from South Carolina.
Wow.
And when we get out the cars, guess who opens the door?
Cool.
My mama's first cousin.
Oh my gosh.
His son, Edward, Ed Finley, shout out to my cousin Ed, was also attending Elizabeth City State, and we were in the same program, computer science.
I remember Ed.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a couple of friends come too because they did such a good job recruiting. So they would go to the high school. I think I had on my list Spelman, I had Hampton, I had a couple of places, and I was really nervous about getting too far away from home. But at the end of the day, after all the acceptance letters came in, the people who gave me the most amount of money was Elizabeth City State University. And it was really that personal touch from the recruiter that made a difference. And I'll be honest with you, I'm gonna just put it out there. A lot of my friends, because I was in all of the little honors programs in high school and stuff, a lot of my friends were doing, Virginia State, Virginia Tech, and a lot of the bigger PWIs, and nobody knew Elizabeth City State University. So I literally had one of my teachers ask me, why was I going to be a sacrificial lamb and go to an HBCU when I had other options, like just straight crazy racist tones. Anyway, so it turned out to be the absolute best decision I ever made, but it wasn't my first choice either. And that recruiter made all the difference. That's amazing that we never had that conversation.
I know.
We haven't.
We got the same thing in the chat. Hey, Fee.
Yep.
Never heard of it.
Hey, Fee.
Wow.
She said she had never heard of it either, and got recruited from the cafeteria. They were on their job. I don't know. I don't know if just because I'm not there, I don't know if they're doing it like that anymore, but they got all of us there. That was really good.
Yeah.
Listen, the recruitment game was strong, but you know what I think sealed the deal for me, and this is how I met Stacia. Out of all of us, Stacia was the first person, the first friend that I gained at Elizabeth City State, because I hated it there first semester. I went home every weekend. Wow. I hated it. I was like, this is dumb. And we in the country and I don't know nobody and everybody talks funny and I really understand what is happening. And so my mother used to come and pick me up every Friday when classes got out, and I would go home and I would come back on Sunday. Plus I was living in Bias at that time. Shout out to my Bias for all people. I was living in Bias at that time. And I just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it at first, but then I met Stacia because we were all in the honors program together. And I'll never forget the day she came to my room and she was like, girl, what you doing in your room? Come on, let's go outside. I was like, where we going? And why is she so loud? I was like, oh, what? I mean, and she's always been a ball of energy. Like Stacia has always just has a personality that just fills up the room. That's like, just shines through. And so for me, it became that family feel that kept me there at Elizabeth City State. Like it felt like family. I mean, at that time we had Chancellor Jenkins at the helm, I think, when all of us came in.
That was my daddy.
We were family. Like you hung out on the yard together, like you knew everybody, and everybody treated you like they knew you personally, even if they didn't know you from a can of paint, And so I think that's the thing that really made the difference for me in 4 years, was that sense of family.
Yeah. Can you all share?
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you to share your memories and stuff, but go ahead, say what you're going to say.
I mean, just thinking about how underrated Elizabeth City was, because I was active in Trinace, you too. We were active in so many things, like all of us. Yep. I was in university choir with Trinace, and like Mr. Hines took care of us. Like that was our family.
Yep.
And he gave me more money, right? Because some of y'all were getting refund checks. I wasn't getting refund checks for out-of-state tuition. So I had like a little bit more to pay, but Dr. Hines or Mr. Hines helped me with that with the choir. Yeah. I was in a computer science program. Shout out to Dr. Hayden, even though she's an AKA. Dr. Hayden had mad connections, y'all. I mean, I was at Elizabeth City and I had an internship at NSA and I had top security clearance. I had an internship at the Naval Research Lab in DC. And everybody would be like, Elizabeth City, where's that? New Jersey? I was like, don't sleep, boo-boo.
Always
Do not sleep. Do not sleep. So they were top-notch programs. And I had friends who were at these bigger schools trying to major in computer science who couldn't like make the cut because if they had a problem with a program, their professors didn't know them. They didn't last. They changed their majors before they graduate and maybe had to stay there 5 years. And so we had that personal touch. I can tell you right now, a lot of my leadership skills, oh my gosh, shout out to Miss Rivers. She had me being president of the NAACP when I was there. We all were active with SGA. Lord, I mean, there was just so many things I got from Elizabeth City that I know my friends didn't get that went to PWIs. And
shout out to Stacia for remembering all those people's names.
I know, right?
I was like, damn, she naming them people like she just talked to them yesterday.
I try to keep in touch with some of them, but when they make that impact on your life.
My most memorable thing was, I'm gonna tell y'all. So I went to a predominantly white high school. Think 800, 900 kids, 30 are Black.
Wow.
I just want you to think that. And then I show up, and the first real memory of Elizabeth City I have is the Alpha Convention. So I need you to think about this for a minute. I ain't seen more than 30 Black people in my whole life. And all of a sudden, I am in a gym. And there is Blackness all around me.
Black and gold.
And I think it really was the first time in my life that I was like, you Black. Like, you really Black.
Denise, you didn't know you was Black, boo-boo?
I knew, but I didn't know I was Black. You know, it's one thing to know your skin color. I mean Black experience. I mean Black culture. I mean everything.
Let me ask you, when you were immersed in that, did it feel foreign because of your high school experience, or did you feel like I found home?
But I would say both. There were times that I did feel a little like a fish out of water. But I was just soaking it up. Like I really just wanted to just dive in and learn and be and experience. And so I tell people all the time, like I do feel privileged in the fact that I've had to walk and be in very white population, you know, and I've had that Black experience because I feel like I can translate in all settings. But it was really the first time in my life that I realized I was Black and everything that comes with that.
Yeah, that's good. What's your memory?
For me, I was thinking about Dr. Carol C. Jones, the one name that I do remember.
We're all of us were in the honors program. Yeah,
all of us were in the honors program.
Talk about it.
But Sanithia got gypped because I don't know how she got in bias. She was supposed to be in the complex with us freshman year, boo-boo. With that, I said something about that.
They jacked up my housing. So I never had, everybody else in the honors program was living in the complex. And there I was living over in bias with holes in the screen and no air condition and just.
We got you. We brought
you. So there is a whole nother side to something, and we can't stereotype all HBCUs, but we have had some experiences as well. Yes.
Okay. But anyway. So Dr. Carol C. Jones by far was probably the toughest professor I had in my 4 years, like hands down. She was the toughest, but she is the one that I remember most because for the first time in my life, I saw a Black woman in a position of leadership and authority, and she carried herself with confidence and she was brilliant. Like her attitude was questionable sometimes. But she was brilliant and she knew her stuff and she demanded excellence out of us. She was hard on us because she demanded excellence. And I had never seen that before. The closest that had come for me was probably my senior year in high school, my English teacher at that time, Doris Dancy. But next to Doris Dancy was Dr. Carol C. Jones. And I can even remember when we was online. Y'all remember we had, well, not you, Nikki, but we had an 8 o'clock class, 8 to 8:50, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays when we were online. And when everybody, because it was multiple, everybody who pledged AKA that year, it was a whole bunch of us that was online. And Dr. Carol C. Jones rolled into that classroom and she said, listen, I know some of y'all involved in whatever y'all involved in, but let's be very clear that this door right here will lock at 8 a.m. And if you are not on this side of the door, you will not get in. And don't hang outside of the door trying to listen to get the notes. Wait to the next class and hopefully you'll make it in the next number. And I can remember when we was online, if I didn't make it to no other class,
you made it to that one.
Off of 2 hours of sleep, I was there at 8 o'clock. But it was a standard that she set that has always stuck with me as a Black woman as I've moved throughout positions of leadership. I've always remembered her example and how she always had this unapologetic attitude. I don't even think she was really moved by how we felt about her. Like, right. I don't think she was, I think she was unbothered. Like if unbothered was a person, it would be Dr. Carol C. Jones. But that has stuck with me and really resonated for me.
I love that. And it's probably worth saying I'm a year ahead of you all, but we are all sisters and we did all of this stuff together. So that's why we weren't taking all of the same classes. They are giggling about all of this stuff that y'all are sharing. Any other, I will say, I'll just add least favorite and most favorite, whether it's about being in the complex or on campus. What comes to mind when you think the best memories and what comes to mind when you think your least favorite? And I have a couple. So
well, go ahead and get started.
I know, go ahead.
Go ahead and get started.
Okay, so I can quickly say my best favorites. My newfound freedom, just first. My mama's up here. And so, I now get free and let stuff out now because I'm 46 and she can't beat me. She chooses not to whip me now. I guess she still could if she wanted to. But I had a newfound freedom. And so, that is a wonderful thing. I got to discover a lot. I love being a part of the choir. Dr. Hines became like a father figure to me. It literally was family. I loved all of the opportunities to grow SGA, Miss ECSU, like all of those things where I had an opportunity to lead and put myself out there and all of that. But with the newfound freedom, my least favorite memory is being fresh meat my first year, and a dude that he was a super senior, like he wasn't even supposed to be like on or around campus, but he saw me and found me and we started kicking it as soon as I got to school. And evidently he had a girlfriend, and I'll just say I still we still talk after everything is over. I don't know whether she forgot what happened or whether she just it was a whole forgiveness thing. I don't know, but I didn't know he had a girlfriend. I'm new to campus. I don't know. And he had nerve enough to have one of those townhouses right off the main road. So he wasn't even on campus. And I was at his house one night and that girl rolled up and banged on the door and scared me to bejesus. And he was like, I need to go out with you. you need me to go out with you. Y'all, she almost ran me over in her car. And this was like my first 3 months there. I was like, I don't want nobody else here. I don't want to talk to nobody else. I need resumes. Who you dealing with? So that was my introduction. And it didn't get a whole lot better as I went through as far as relationships were concerned. So I had drama at least once a year related to relationships. Y'all being in the suite with y'all, we can talk about more later. But
you know, Trinace, that's so funny because by the time we met you, you was in love, boo. And we was like, is she married? Like,
she was in love, wasn't she?
Real serious with this one.
Goofy, stupid, ignorant love. Let's just call it what it is.
She was in deep.
It was
like I would have never known that pre-story. Like, yeah, and especially because everybody saw you as a church girl. Like, you was a church girl who could sing. Yes. You know, that was who you were, and there was this whole image.
I rediscovered Jesus after that incident. I was like, oh Lord, you need to be my number one, because it's crazy out here in these streets. And then I did find one person. Y'all look, my mama said,
Yeah, I saw Miss Gloria comment.
Can I tell my story with your mama watching? Because I mean, this is real women, so I wanted to get real.
I think we in too deep now. So go ahead. Just, you know.
So Synethia will tell you a lot of my memories I don't remember, because we'll be on a Zoom call with some other friends and we'll be texting like, you remember that? And they'll be like, you remember that? And then when I go to homecoming, I hang out with Fee. Shout out to Felicia Bass, because she knows everybody. And I'd be like, who is it? So, but okay. So when I got to Newfound Freedom, Trinace, I had a boyfriend in South Carolina thinking we was gonna make the long distance thing work. Well, he wasn't returning my calls because he was at Shaw and they had the community phones, and apparently you could be on hold, you know, with the pay phones forever and whatever. So this really dope dude, Fly, started like, you know, showing me a little bit of attention. So I was like, okay, let me test out the waters. He was in the complex too. Go in the room. He got the Tony playing. You know, I was like, okay, you smooth. And I see the Magnum condoms. I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, is something happening? What's I don't feel anything. Yo. It was not a good way to start Elizabeth City State University.
He did not represent Elizabeth City men very well.
And I hope he is not watching. I hope y'all don't go try to figure out who it is, but maybe he grew a little bit more later. But I was no.
Denise, what? What, Denise? If there had to be a story, you know, Saskia had to tell it. I don't know what you thought. What did you think was going to happen?
Okay, but
did you put any kind of parental rating on this?
I did not. No, I did not.
Okay.
I didn't use any bad words or anything.
You did not.
Thank you. But when I talk about favorite memories, though, Trinace, choir trips. Like, we went to New York. We went to Georgia. We did the South. Oh my God. I think all the time about Julius Goodman. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
What we just had so much fun. I can still hear Trinace singing some daggone Yolanda Adams and having battles with Nikita Sutton. And like, I mean, for real, they were like the top two. Like, it
was great. It was fun.
But it was just so amazing listening to Miss Vendetta Sutton play the piano. Oh my God, we had so much good times. And then of course when we pledged Delta, all those memories. So I mean, it was just amazing. It was amazing.
What comes to mind about that? Just like pledging or oh, why did it get quiet? Why are there crickets?
Because I had to pop, like, I actually exhale. I don't know if y'all saw me visually exhale. I was like,
Well. I'll start. So I'll start. So I remember having hair in my face a lot. Like, I just remember being like this with somebody's hair in my face a lot.
days, I can still smell the pink oil moisturizer, Shamel.
Pink oil moisturizer and jam, hairspray, big hair don't care. And I love my front door. My front door is up here. She up here. My front door. Shout out to Tracy Webb. Tracy is up here. Tracy's up here.
Oh, we got a memory about Tracy too. Remember when they told us that we got all our weaves? Tracy Webb.
She said, I just got this little piece right here.
Tracy gonna get y'all. Get them, Tracy.
Yeah, I mean, but y'all, that was 26 years ago. Like it was just so many memories.
Yeah, we had a blast.
Yeah, I think the only. Yeah. Oh no, go ahead, Nikki. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You got one, please.
No, I was just gonna say, I think probably what I loved most about pledging is that growing up in a household with just the older brother, the idea of having sisters was foreign to me. And of course, it was 33 of us. Well, 34 when we started, and then we lost one along the way, and hence Cinema 33. Mm-hmm. And so I think that was the most amazing experience for me about pledging, was being around so many other women, because like Denise felt coming to college and seeing all the Black people, that's how I felt sometimes in the room with y'all. Cause I'm like, all of these women, like y'all are on my nerves right now. Cause it was foreign to me. I didn't know relationship with women that way. And when you're online together, and then after that, being in a chapter and leading and serving together, you get to learn so much about yourself as well as about other women and forging relationships. And that was completely new terrain for me, coming from a girl who was always the awkward one in middle school and high school. I wasn't in the in crowd. And relationships with women, with girls, was always a struggle for me. It was always a squirrely area. So I remember feeling a certain level of anxiety going online, like, oh my God, how's this gonna work out? And then having to find out how much time we was gonna have to spend together and everything we had to do together. I was like, Jesus, fix it. But it turned out to be the most beautiful thing ever. So I think the only thing that I perhaps did not enjoy, which I think many of us would agree, is, the loss of sleep, the loss of weight from not eating, just the losses, just some of the L's that we took. It's the parts that I didn't enjoy, but by far the relationship building that has lasted for years has been the most rewarding thing about pledging. So,
anything come to mind, Denise?
Yeah, so I think this applies to, the way we interacted and the relationships formed in pledging. But really what it makes me think about is just like, even this group, I have an expanded circle. There was a 6-pack for those that know.
I was going to mention the 6-pack. I was going to mention.
So when I said like Anthony Price saved my life, that's true, right? So he was like my entry point to college. I don't think I would have gone without that interaction, but I really don't think I would have stayed without you all.
Yeah.
And that's true. Like it didn't, we all went through ups and downs, crisis, celebrations. I felt like, there were times that I was with y'all through all of that, like real tears and also real moments of joy. But the bottom line is this: everybody was going to get through. Mm-hmm. Everybody was going to get through, and it didn't matter. Like whatever your issue was, we were going to all jump in and do what we needed to do. To just stamp that idea, when we got ready to graduate, I found out I had all these parking tickets. I don't know if y'all remember this. Wow. I had like $600-$700 worth of parking tickets.
But Denise, you used to park the Festival.
I know.
Anywhere.
We're not gonna get into the crime. We ain't getting into the crime. So I had all these parking tickets. They was like, "Ma'am, you ain't graduating." I said, "Okay, what you need to understand is I can't call Gail in Elton and tell her I am not graduating because of some parking tickets." And I went back to y'all, and y'all was helping me sell donuts and blow pops. We took up a collection. We paid off them tickets, okay? Them tickets got paid off. Gail got to see me walk across that stage And she on here now watching me. She don't know about them tickets.
She know now. I was gone by then. I am amazed.
But
wow.
let me tell you, Denise, like I learned how to drive stick because of your Festiva.
In the Festiva.
I wrecked my car. And Denise like, just take mine. And and that Festiva, as small as it was, would hold all of us in number 33. Like it was like packing clouds in that car. We could that Festiva.
And at any given time, you could see anybody driving the Festiva. Like just because you saw the Festiva flying down out of the complex, it didn't necessarily mean that Denise was the person driving, because the one and only time that I have ever run out of gas in a car, guess whose car I was driving?
Denise.
And I was on my way to pick her up from work. She was working at Southgate Mall. Remember, she was the manager of that little ratchet store that was down there by Belt. And remember, Denise got real fancy. She used to wear the scarves tied around her neck. She was the manager of that store.
I hate y'all. The point of the story was sisterhood. The point of the story was sisterhood, and now you're talking about scarves. No.
You won't let me explain the ... Can you let them have fun, please?
Can we please go back to the story? The story was about sisters and love.
Okay, well, I got a sister love story.
Okay.
I mean, come on. Because like some of y'all, I did not have positive relationships with Black girls in elementary, middle, or high school. Let's be real.
Yeah.
And so my trust factor for Black women was like, dang, we are as petty as they say we are. But when I met y'all, that did change for real, because I was like, y'all really were my sisters. And again, before Delta, there was Six Pack. Sanithia, remember when there was a hurricane, who house did I go to? I went with Miss Lucy and Mr. Willie. And I ate their food and stayed with them because I couldn't get to South Carolina, but Hampton was like an hour down the road. Right. We hung out with Crystal's mom and dad down in Belhaven. We took road trips. I mean, so it was like not only did y'all accept us, our parents accepted each other.
That's true. Yep.
So it was definitely it changed that trajectory for me and the power of Black women sticking together.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Go ahead, Swan.
No, I was just gonna say it's family. It's like we're a family, and I think you're so right, because even today, my parents still ask about all of y'all, like as though we talk every day. Like they ask me, "How's Denise doing? What's going? How's her family? Her boy's about to graduate from high school." And that's like, how do you know all of that? Because we're family. We're family, and so it's just like it's second nature. I remember the first time I went home with Denise and met Miss Gail. Yeah. My God. And there was this haunted road. What was the name of that road you took me on, Denise? What's the name of that road that had the ghost stories attached to it? And we was in the Festiva.
It's up in the mountains though, and the car rolls up the hill.
And the car rolls up the hill. I was like, what kind of witchcraft y'all got going on here in Jonesville? What is happening? But I had never been to that part of the state before. But my point is just every house that I have been in of each one of my sisters, I never felt like a stranger. I never felt like out of place. I never felt like I didn't belong. But speaking of family, the most fondest memory that I have from our sweet days, and I want to pull out my props now to reinforce my thing that I remember. So I'm gonna put on my robe. Make sure I got it nice and tight. And I didn't lost my one earbud, but I get that shortly. Okay, we got that tied up. Okay. Now we got a scarf.
What is happening right now?
Now, Denise and Stacia, do you all remember the mornings that we might be sitting out in the hallway in the suite just talking, or in the bathroom or something like that, and all of a sudden we hear the door on room number 4 creak open, and there would be this little person who would come out bundled up with her robe all the way up like this and a scarf, and she say, "Hey y'all," and we'd be like, "Nikki, why are you whispering? And are you cold? Why are you wrapped up in that robe?" "No, I gotta protect my boy." and she have her cup with her warm tea, and it, what y'all in here talking about? If you got to whisper, go back to your room, ma'am. But that is one of my fondest memories.
Oh, wow.
Is the robe and the scarf.
Well, since you went back to the suite, I need to say the whole, like, I got two quick memories from all of the falling in Ignorant Love. I'm gonna just call it Ignorant Love, because when I fell out of Ignorant Love, y'all didn't realize that I was breaking up with the Ignorant Love dude and let him in my suite room. Does anybody remember this? He went into my suite room just to look around because he thought I had another guy and all this kind of stuff. He was in my room looking around at stuff. Okay, nods. Thank you. Because I was like, how did he get in my room when I have 3 suite mates? Just joking. We didn't know. And then the other part of it was I was so ignorant in love at one point, and this is probably one of my just a favorite season of my life. And I know that for most of y'all, especially Stacia, he was dear to you too. But I was ignorant in love, so much so that I did not give appropriate time and attention to someone who would literally serenade me from my window. Do you remember this, Stacia? Denise, you remember this? I got serenaded in college. I got serenaded, and they were like, "Y'all, you are crazy. Do you see what he is doing? You are crazy." So yeah, those
Trinae, if there was ever a moment that I hated you so much, it was when that gentleman caller was pursuing you, because my God, he pursued you. I mean, he pursued you.
Who was the pursuer?
I'm gonna text you.
Okay, text me.
I'm gonna text you.
You don't know who that is?
She don't remember. As soon as I put the first letter, she gonna remember. She gonna remember. Do you want to say it, Nikki?
He passed
away. Yeah, he's deceased now.
Stacia. Okay. Yeah.
Do you want to say his name?
God.
I don't know.
Oh my God, he was like the perfect man.
Listen to, I mean,
what are you doing?
Oh my God, he was so fine and just a gentleman. And oh yeah, Trinae, you were ignorant.
And he was so kind and just
oh.
You sound like from the help. He was so kind and
nice.
Okay,
well, look, y'all know Denise over there being real quiet, but she was really in love too.
She said, I think it's like them dots.
Denise,
I think it's like them dots behind her name.
Okay. So
you can't take your way out of all of these conversations.
I know, for real.
I am engaged fully in the conversation. That don't mean my story need to be on blog.
Which one you willing for us to share? You got to choose one.
I ain't share none of them. That's okay.
There ain't no story. Okay, I was the quiet one. And I was the only one that had a boyfriend for 4 years, the same one.
Oh, yes.
All 4.
Swan,
and then 2 years after.
You raising your hand to talk, Swan?
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on I'm the quiet one. I'm still stuck there.
You're going to let the audience decide. I'm going to put myself on.
Okay, I'm just saying. I'm about to, before this is over, I might get to the dots. That's all I'm saying. I'm just saying. All right.
We're going to talk about though. This is so good.
I got you. Okay, so I want to get an idea from you of like those were college years, young adult years. We have all evolved. We were supposed to celebrate together as Line Sisters 25 years, and then COVID. We had plans, man. We had some serious plans that got that we have been working on for a long time that got changed. And so, like, we literally can look back and say it's been 25 years. Can you believe that? So just what lessons have you learned about yourself, about, it may be some of us, or just as you have seen time evolve and grow us up, do you have any reflections based on where you are right now?
I have a learning from Denise that she probably doesn't even know that it has carried me through 25 years. And there was this poster that she used to keep on her door in her room. And I don't remember what it was called. Like if it was 2021 now, it might be like your top 20 life hacks, just things that you should know about life. And it had different tips that you should remember in life. And there was one particular tip that says, remember not to take everything that happens around you personally. And I remember one day I was in there and we were kind of just randomly talking about some of those. And she said to me, she was like, Synethia, you need to make sure you remember that one.
Wow.
And she gave, I don't even know if she remembers, but she gave me good, like critical feedback that day because y'all, she'd be like, she the quiet one, but she also the one that'll give it to you straight, no chase. So let's be very clear. Right. Mm-hmm. And she was like, she said, Synethia, that's an area that you need to remember because sometimes you take things that happen around you personally and it's not even about you. Like what the situation is, it's not even about you. And that principle, I have never, ever forgotten that. And it has carried me from young adult life into my adult life, in my personal life and in business and in leadership. It's a principle that has carried me. So thank you.
That is so good. So good. I have one. Well, I have one and a half. One of them is just the example that you all set with Six Pack. And I just want to talk about that for a second because, and maybe we'll do this again with Wivandalin and Isoke, maybe a whole nother sweet conversation, even though that was not as long of a time period. But watching you all just being a year ahead of you and watching the close-knit circle that you created with the other ladies, I admired it so, especially because you all literally split in half and made two different decisions about sororities and 4 and 2. Okay, 4 and 2. Okay.
2/3.
Yeah, 2/3. So made decisions about different sororities, but you like stayed connected. And it was just palatable how connected you were and how much you were there for each other. And it was also palatable when you weren't getting along. but the fact that you made it through, whatever the ups and downs were, I just really respect and admire the connection that you all had. It was a lesson for me in what sisterhood could look like. And then I can say something about each of you, and I will before this is over. But as far as like a 25-year thing, I just really want to celebrate, and all of our line sisters know this, that Stacia is like, and I'm going to say Stacia right now, is like some real glue. Like she tries her best to stay connected to as many of us as possible and just really invested. You can check in with Stacia about almost anybody and she'll be able to give you a little update. And so I just wanted to say thank you for that, because so many times life I know it has done it for me, has gotten away from me, and I've needed that pull back to real sisterhood. So thank you. Anybody else got one?
Thank you.
Stacia is that gorilla glue girl in the best possible way.
Not in my hair though.
Right.
Oh my God. Okay. So one of my, I guess, most just powerful moments, and Trinace and Synethia, I shared this with y'all in a text a few weeks ago, is y'all are where I found like God, spirituality. Like I grew up in church, played piano for the church, knew all the hymns and everything, but didn't really know about having a true personal relationship with God. And then when I saw the way you ladies had relationships, and I went to churches with you and saw how you were praising God, and I was like, oh, they're young, they're not 60 with the Holy Ghost. Like I was like, okay, this feels real. Like this is something I can get. And so like I really had I think I was saved my senior year. I think it was the summer before my senior year. I was in Baltimore. But I have to say, I saw that in y'all. I didn't see that growing up, and I thought it was like magical. So I do attribute that to y'all. I ain't the best Christian. God's still working on me all these years later, but I do appreciate what I saw.
God is working on all of us.
And I want to take a Claire Huxtable moment and let the record show that you got 3 doctors on this panel. We small HBCU.
And somebody with 2 graduate degrees from a prestigious college in New York. Let the record continue to show. Go ahead, keep going.
We'll let it show. But so many people doubt the power of HBCUs. And I would say, get your, like Denise, find your people, find your culture, get that grounding in who you are as a Black person at HBCU. And then you can go get a master's or something else anywhere you want to.
Yeah.
But I do think just having that strong foundation where you're away from mom and dad and you got to figure it out on your own. Shout out to CBAC. I think that was Tariq and Eric, who's not Eric anymore. They were the Concerned Black Awareness Council. I remember getting on a bus and going to see Minister Farrakhan with them. Wow. And that was the first time I ever sat and listened to some man for 4 hours and was like entranced.
Wow.
But I wouldn't have got that had I gone somewhere else. I got that at Elizabeth City State University. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so good.
Absolute facts. I forgot about CBAC.
Yep. Power to the people.
Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
Everything on that campus. Anything you were looking for, we had. Any final words from each of you all? This has been fun. I would, willing to do anything like this again. It would bring me joy.
I think a good way for me to close us out, Trinace, is like, I think I got a little bit out of all of you all. I was never like the one that was out there. I didn't have a lot of initiative in college to do things. I know I acted probably a certain way in the suite, but not like, I don't think a lot of people knew me outside of the suite. And so you all birthed in, like, I took a little bit from all of you, like Trinace, your presence, anytime you're in front of people, just poised and graceful. So, that's a part of who I am as a leader now, right? Sanithia, I think you got some of Carol Jones's DNA in you, because there is a bar. Don't mess up my name,
ma'am.
I mean, it was very clear about what was it going to be acceptable and what was not.
Yep.
Named, codified, and communicated up front. And no, we're not negotiating it, right? Mm-hmm. And Stacia's energy, you're right. Like, Stacia was just out there. She knew everybody. She was the connector. And so I feel like I've taken pieces of all of you, and they become like the woman I am today, the leader I am today, certainly the mother I am today, because I talked to my own 2 kids about the power of the circle of people. And you are the people who are around you. Like, you identify with them. That's how you get to and through, right? It's a network. And so I'm thankful for the whole 4 years. I'm like you, Trinace, like, I've had to take sabbaticals, and I'm not the most like social, keeping up with everyone, but it doesn't matter, because Stacia could pick up the phone and be like, I'm on my way to your house. And as soon as she gets there, it's like no time has passed.
Yep.
No time, like even today, no time has passed.
Yeah.
It is so different than when we used to sit out in that hallway. And so it's just beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you for that. And I'll still open it up if anybody has any last words, but I am in awe of what God has done in all of our lives. I remember, even though there were 33 of us, and I'll start there in the larger group of us, and people, connected more closely with certain ones within the 33 of us. We all had closer knit friendships and relationships with different ones. But to even look back now, when we did a virtual Zoom with as many of us as we could get and communicating, and I think back even to our 10-year, and I know that there was one that I didn't go to in between that time, but just to the fact that we were able to pray together, and that folks you didn't think would find the Lord, found them, and we've all been just striving professionally and doing our best to be our best selves. I'm just in awe of what God has done. And then just looking at each of you, and I've had each of you individually up here because we've been able to talk about not just a woman's issue or a woman's topic, but how amazing you are in your own right and what God has allowed you to accomplish in your life. And so I am so honored to be able to call you sisters and sorors and friends, and that we're able to look back 25 years and not act like we don't know each other, or we don't have any connection. And I don't have to talk to any one of you every day in order for that to be a connection. So I just thank you for that.
I love what Ronell said. He said HBCUs build and empower us to push through everything else. And I think he's spot on about that. The whole HBCU experience, even the relationships you build with your suite mates, with your roommates in college, all of those things, they really do build us. They really do empower us. And I think about how after we pledged, our suite became the Delta suite. So it was not uncommon at any point of the day to find any Delta in the suite, even when you wasn't there, and it just reminds me of how the power of a core group can draw more into community. Like a core group can build even a bigger community where we all have a meeting place. We all have a watering hole that we can come around, and you can let your hair down and you can just be you, and you don't have to try and fix up and be right and have your makeup and have your lashes in place and things like that. But it's just a safe space. And so I think that's what I've always appreciated about our relationship, is that the suite was a safe space. Like after the community was gone, it was just the four of us.
Yeah.
And it was a safe space.
And remember, we had guys in there too. We would have some serious roundtable discussions. Like, we were talking all kinds of things. I thought we were pretty progressive for our age.
I think we had red table talks before there was a red table talk. Like, I think that the living room was a red table talk moment.
I have a couple of pictures, and I was trying to, let me see if I can, this might be a really good way.
Oh, Lord. You got pictures?
I got pictures. I hope this works.
I think we got the one from Coronation. That was a good one. When you were.
Yeah, are they good pictures? When you was no, they not good pictures. Oh,
yes.
Jesus. Okay.
I found all of us were in it, and yay, we did it, y'all. I'm so glad we're all able to connect and do this together.
Wow.
Yeah, I have another one with Swan in her do-rag in the living room, but I'm not.
Where's it at? Go ahead. You can put it up there. Go ahead.
I honestly have to find it. I was trying to. It's not right on this, but I'll send it. I'll post it.
Yeah, send it to me. No, I ain't say post it. I said send it to me. I ain't say post it. That ain't what I said, Nikki. I said send it to me.
Renee, here's one in a choir.
Oh, I have that one up too. Yep, I have.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
I do have a choir one. I love y'all. This has been amazing. This has been
y'all too.
Yes, and
thank you for your people, like all the friends who are watching. That was fun.
I know. Thanks for hanging out with us, y'all.
Listen, my mom and my aunt are watching. Okay,
hey, Susan is up here.
No, my aunt Maxine and my mom.
Maxine.
So that's why y'all don't need to be telling all the business.
Oh, that's why you were being so reserved. Okay,
I wasn't really being reserved. There's not any business to tell. I'm just saying. What goes on in the suite stays in the suite.
Okay, there we go.
that part do be facts.
Yeah. It has to be voluntarily shared. So I love y'all. This has been the realest, y'all. We have done our best to share. Oh, good. Look at Gloria Jean. My mama,
she want more. She's like,
more.
Don't worry, I got more. I got more.
No, we can't tell all the secrets from the suite, because my God, I don't know that people would be ready if they knew all the secrets.
Yeah, I had some, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate you all tuning in, and all of our sorority sisters, our line sisters, everybody from Elizabeth City State University. Thank you for making this fun, and all of you who are guests just tuning in, thank you for reminiscing with us. And hopefully it reminded you of the importance of sisterhood or brotherhood. And maybe you want to reconnect with someone you haven't connected with, because there's still, I bet you, if it's the right person, you pick up the phone or you reach out, you'll be able to pick right back up where you left off. And so we will be back again next Thursday with another opportunity to share, get a sneak peek into a real conversation with real women. And we invite you to our monthly virtual sister circles. We have one coming up March 14th, where we're going to be talking about situationships, just relationships of all kinds, and how we navigate through them. So you'll see those postings coming up soon. Thank y'all so much. I love y'all.
Love y'all too. Thank you for hosting us, Oprah. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm ending.